I'm here with my lovely wife, Susan. We just saw Thor, Love and Thunder. What'd you think, Susan?
Oh, wait, it was a masterpiece.
You say that every time.
But it's so true.
Okay. Well, we just saw it, and I really liked it. I thought it was really good.
So, spoiler free,
For a little bit, and then we'll get into some... There's not too much to spoil with this movie.
Alright, so I'm comparing this to Thor Ragnarok, but it was kind of a lot more somber than that movie.
Yeah. First off, is it as good as Thor Ragnarok?
Honestly, I don't think so.
No, it's not.
But it's still good.
Yeah, it's not as good as Thor Ragnarok. I mean, Thor Ragnarok is like one of the best, my favorite MCU movies, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But this was still good. This was still a lot of fun. I thought it started out a little sloppy with the Guardian stuff. I was like, okay. I mean, I feel like it could have opened a little better than that, but the movie it got better as it went along.
Yeah.
So my favorite thing about this movie, maybe not my favorite thing, but one of my favorite things was definitely the villain, Gore, the God Butcher. I thought he was really great. I mean, I thought the movie opens with his backstory, and it's really compelling. And Christian Bale did a great job. He has this sort of he's really threatening, but he's also got a lot of personality to him. So I really liked Gore, the God Butcher. I thought it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think he was a pretty compelling villain. And honestly, if you've seen the trailers, you see that Jane is back.
Jane is back.
I'll be honest that without getting into spoilers, I cared more about her character. And the first two Thors, I don't really care about her that much.
She was Thor's girlfriend.
Yeah, but here, the movie makes you care about her a lot more, and she was honestly a compelling character.
She has a really good arc in this movie. I really enjoyed what they did with her. Jane is at her best in this movie. And Valkyrie, I'll say Valkyrie, she's sort of a sidekick in this movie. She doesn't have too much to do. I thought she would have more to do based on the marketing and how her character's arc was set up in other movies like Endgame. But she's not bad. She's just kind of tagging along for the adventure. And they said this movie would really go into her bisexuality, but it doesn't really.
Yeah.
It does for a little bit.
They bring it up, but that's kind of about it.
Yeah, they don't really. If you're going to this movie for that, I think you're gonna be very disappointed. Korg was funny.
Yeah, he had a lot of good lines.
Korg is Korg, Mm-hmm. And the main character, obviously, Thor. Thor, as these movies go on, they've definitely dumbed him down a lot. Thor is at his broiest in this movie. At this point, he is a full-on surfer dude himbo. That's what Thor is now. And
but I kind of, it's not a bad character approach for him. It's definitely entertaining to watch him.
I didn't mind it either. I liked it a lot. I thought it was really cool. Thor had a lot of compelling stuff going on, and Chris Hemsworth you could tell he really loved doing this movie. He did a great job. Russell Crowe as Zeus. He's not in the movie a lot, but I thought he did pretty good. Gore has this one scene not near the end, sort of towards the end of the second act, where he just sort of analyzes the main characters and just talks to them, and it's probably my favorite scene in the movie. He just Christian Bale just commands the scene. It's a really good scene.
Yeah. So I guess we get into spoilers now.
Spoilers. If you haven't seen it, go see it.
All right. So
just give him a second.
All right.
All right. So spoilers.
With Jane, I really liked her whole character, with her being diagnosed with cancer at the beginning and her becoming this Thor hero and really becoming a stronger person and reconnecting with Thor. And I mean, it was fitting for her to die at the end, but it was definitely sad to see her go.
Yeah,
even after not caring about her before.
Yeah, I always thought Jane was just kind of whatever. I never hated her. I just thought she was Jane, And in this movie, you're right. I really loved how they incorporated her illness in this movie, and I really liked how it ended. I think when I saw the trailers for this movie, I'm like, oh, they're gonna sort of have her take the mantle of Thor. They're gonna have Chris Hemsworth sort of go out and have Jane Foster take over. But I thought what they did with this movie was a lot more interesting by ending her story arc in this satisfying way. I thought that's more interesting than just, oh, now Jane's gonna join the Avengers and she's gonna go on adventures with them. I'd rather they do this.
Yeah.
Instead of just have her go on more movies,
Yeah, because it kind of would have felt forced in, but I like how they went out with her here.
Yeah, I thought she had a really good ending. And the ending to this movie in general is a good ending, not just to the movie, but like to Thor's story in general.
Yeah, definitely.
They have 2 credit scenes. One of them is just to give closure to Jane. She goes to Valhalla, where Heimdall shows up, which was a really cool callback. Yeah, it was really nice to see Jane go to Valhalla, especially after they talk about it a lot in the movie. That's a great credit scene. And the first credit scene, they bring in Hercules. And on one hand, I'm like, it's cool to see Hercules. They mentioned him earlier in the movie, and I was like, but, you know.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, you know, it's cool, but unless they can come up with a better ending than this, I think this is a satisfying ending for Thor. I don't really think they need to do any more with him.
Mm-hmm.
Gore, I loved the scene where they go to eternity. I love that entire scene where Thor's talking to Gore, and Gore makes his wish, and Jane and Thor have their goodbye. It's a really good scene. I love that whole resolution. I love that whole scene. And I really like where this movie leaves off. Thor has a daughter now, and
yeah, it was like it was really cool to see that because it kind of would start a new story, and I think that's probably where they're gonna go with it next.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like
I really liked how it ended. You know, Thor like that. Honestly, I'd be fine if I love Thor. He's one of my favorite MCU characters. But I'd be fine if that was it for him. You know, like, hey, he's off. He's with his daughter now, and they're going on adventures together. Like, that's a very satisfying ending to me.
Yeah.
I like how Korg was just a head for most of this movie. I don't know if that was a reference to God of War with Baldur. I thought about God of War a lot with this movie.
The scene where he was singing was pretty funny. Overall, this movie was pretty funny.
Yeah.
But it's like not as funny as Ragnarok.
No.
But that's not really what it was going for.
I thought this movie had a lot more like misses in terms of jokes than
A
Ragnarok
couple,
did.
yeah.
Not like a lot, but there were a few where I was like, that's kind of lame.
Some of the jokes were kind of funny though. I really like the screaming goats that they had.
Yeah, they were funny.
I thought that was pretty funny.
What did you think of how they incorporated the Guardians in this movie?
I thought I don't know, they could have been in it a bit more. But it was cool to see them at least.
Yeah, they were in it about as much as I thought they would be in it.
Yeah.
So I didn't have a problem with them. They were cool to see. You know, they're neat cameos.
There's some funny scenes with them.
Yeah. And another thing is, I think some people are probably going to be upset that Jane does die in this movie, but I was fine with it. I thought it was a good ending to her character, and it kind of makes me want to, even though those first 2 Thor movies are pretty not great, it does make me sort of look back on her story in those movies a little more fondly. I think if you can end something really well, it makes the rest of it look better, you know?
Yeah.
But like I said, this movie, it's a lot of fun. It's a very enjoyable time. I loved when they go to the Shadow Realm. I love the entire look of that area. Everything was black and white.
That was kind of a neat idea for them to do that.
Yeah, that was really
cool.
cool.
And with only the god weapons that they have, that's the only thing that was in color. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, that was super cool. They also brought back Daryl from those Team Thor shorts, which was pretty funny. Yeah, this movie, there's not a lot to say about it because it's a really straightforward story.
Yeah, it was good, less good than Ragnarok, but it was a solid movie.
Yeah, I still think I liked Multiverse of Madness more than this. I think I enjoyed that movie more, but this was still really good. I mean, it was solid. It was funny. It felt and it wasn't 2.5 hours long, which thank God, because if you ask me, too many movies these days are like, let's make our movie 2.5 hours for no reason.
It was the perfect length, really.
What would you give it on a scale of 1 to 10?
A 7. You know, I liked it.
Yeah, I'd give it a 7 or 8. I'd watch it again. You know, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, Marvel Phase 4, I mean, it. Let's be real. It's been pretty up and down so far. I really liked No Way Home. I really liked Multiverse. Everybody said Multiverse of Madness was mid, but I liked it.
Yeah, I thought it was also pretty good.
I really liked that movie. This is probably this No Way Home and Multiverse of Madness are 3 best so far. I didn't really care much for Shang-Chi. Eternals was...
Yeah, it wasn't... I don't really like Eternals that much.
I thought it was okay. Black Widow was...
Yeah, it was okay.
Fine, you know. But I think with the new characters is where they're kind of
they're kind of falling a bit with those.
But I think with the characters that have already been established before is where they get it right.
They're doing a pretty good job with those so far.
Yeah. Yeah, this was a good movie. Gore, great villain. Great story arc for Thor. He was great. I really like what they did with Jane. I know we said that a lot, but I really like what they did with her. I thought it was great. Love the end credit scene. You know, Hercules guess that's cool, but it's like I said, I don't think we need another Thor movie.
Yeah.
I think this could.
We probably will get another, but
Yeah.
who knows?
Who knows, man? Who knows?
Hercules could show up as the villain in another movie. Probably not, but could happen.
Yeah. So that's it for the Thor part of the review, but I figured I have him here. What'd you think of the new season of Stranger Things?
Okay, so...
Don't spoil it.
Okay.
But what do you think?
Overall, Stranger Things, I think it was the best season we've had so far, honestly. I really like the how the older characters have grown and the new characters that they introduced. I really love a lot of them. Like the one they introduced in the first episode, Eddie, I immediately loved him. He was great. And overall, yeah, it was a pretty compelling season. They explained a lot of stuff that they haven't before, and it's had a lot of threads. So I thought it was pretty good.
Awesome. So, yeah, Stranger Things. Do you see Minions?
No, man, I gotta show up in a suit just
You
to
need
see
to
it.
show up.
I have to like set up an occasion, reserve for it.
Reserved. All right, Thor: Love and Thunder. It's good.
Yeah. All right.